Eating it down with my hand, make it go love me. I am giving to my culture. If you see me, eating no one of the don't be surprised. That is my salad, brother. If you see me, more elevation in Africa, make it go love me. I am talking to my ancestors. If you see me, make it go love me in Africa, don't be surprised. That is my way. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Ma 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 ma. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Ma 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 ma. African style, African style, African style, African style, African style. In the year 1974, I traveled to the Burma country. I love it, over the Georgia. In the year 1974, I traveled to the Burma country. I love it, over the Georgia. In the year 1974, I traveled to the Burma country. I love it, over the Georgia. In the year 1974, I traveled to the Burma country. I love it, over the Georgia. When I travel, I carry some paper with me. I carry some of one soup. So you know my country. When I travel, I carry some paper with me. I carry some of one soup. So I'm happy again. When I reach, my mother I don't like their food. I don't like their food. You know my country. When I reach, my brother I don't like their food. I don't drink the taste. In an have a girl. I carry my one soup. I begin to chop up. I begin to set up product. I carry my one soup. I begin to chop up. I begin to set up product. You're the people where they begin to for me. They say they do magic for them. You're the people where they begin to for me. They say they do magic for them. I tell them say nothing magic can they do. The chop and they chop. Africa what is here. I tell them say nothing magic can they do. The chop and they chop. Africa what is here. They say if they say they're committing suicide, you will come for this year. How can you prove this big thing you may swallow? Send a chop, which can chop me this year? How can you prove this big thing you may swallow? Send a chop, which can chop me this year? Police, police is committing suicide. The black man where they is committing suicide. The black man where they is committing suicide. Police is committing suicide. The black man where they is committing suicide. The black man where they is committing suicide. Police is committing suicide. The black man where they is committing suicide. The black man where they is committing suicide. You see, in the part of Africa where I come from, anybody where they chop for food to fuck at night, you get as you describe it. At first, we see the one I'm only became. Or we say, on the listen can do it. Now you don't get this shit for them. Now listen. You shouldn't get it, I'm not letting it. You don't ever care. You don't ever care. You don't ever care. Oh, never care. You shouldn't get it, I'm not letting it. You don't ever care. You don't ever care. You don't ever care. Oh, never care. Never care. Mama, never care. Never care. Go, mama, never care. Never care. 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 Go, mama, never care.
Wow. Where can I start? How can I start? Look at the figures. 935 people are watching. Why should I ask how to start? I know how I can start. I will start by reading the comments of the people. Yes! Ronke said, love you. Love you too, Ronke. Oh, Rita said, this is amazing. Wow. And Akin said, I like your dancing step, Mama. Wow, Akin, I love you too. Wow. And then Chizoba said, beautiful. Wow. Chijoke said, the song is already telling us that suicide is not an option. Yes, that is the song. Say no to suicidal thoughts. Thank you very much, Chijoke. That is fantastic. And Faith said, Mommy, you are too much. Thank you, Faith. And I will read, Shama said, moving forward. Yes, I think I am sweating. Yes, moving forward. We shall keep moving forward. And who is coming now? And quickly, I will say, on that note, 1 minute. On that note, I want to say to the house, high alert. World Health Organization. The World Health Organization has said that suicide is a public health concern that requires urgent attention. I repeat, suicide is a public health concern and it requires urgent attention. Wherever you are, I want to call upon you. Do you know somebody? Do you have somebody? Have you heard of someone? Do you have a relative? Is it your partner? Is it your child? Is it your parent? Is it yourself? Are you feeling suicidal? Do you have stress issue that you feel you don't want to live anymore? Please stop whatever you are doing. Whatever it is you're doing, please stop and tune into this program. If you have not shared, yes, I have to share myself. Sorry. If you have not shared, share it. So I want to use this opportunity to quickly take the link of this talk show. And I urge you, if you are happy to do so, only if you are happy to do so, take the link of this talk show and share it on your WhatsApp page. You know, your WhatsApp status, please, quickly, because as World Health Organization has said, suicide is a public health concern. Yes, it is a public health concern. I have shared mine. If you have not shared yours, please take this link and share it on your WhatsApp status so that people that go to look at your status on WhatsApp will see this program and tune in. You never know. You may be saving a life. You never know. So I urge you to do so quickly. So quickly, family, I want to say to you, do you know that it was just last year, as in January 2023, that Nigeria's mental health bill of 2021 was signed into law? Do you know that? Just a whole country just signed their mental health bill into law in 2023. How can that be? Yes, this is because before last year, just before a year ago, we only had the outdated Lunacy Act. Nigeria, as a federal republic country, was only using the outdated Lunacy Act before last year. In this present day, can you imagine? And the worst of all, the term lunacy itself is associated with a lot of negative words like idiot, madness. You know, when you hear you're a lunatic, that is what Nigeria was using to treat or work with people or citizenry with mental health disorder. The term lunacy also violates the rights of people we are also supposed to protect. Lunacy, as a term, allows people to stigmatize those that have mental health issue. No wonder if you had mental health issue, people try to hide it. They cover up. They don't want to be seen. They hide them in the houses. They lock them up because the country as a whole was using a terminology, lunacy, to categorize the people suffering mental health illness. That is why there was stigmatization, there was discrimination, there was torture and abuse of those with mental health illness. Excuse me. Hello, family. It is mental health illness. It is not lunacy. Please, if you used to call it lunacy, if you used to call them mad people, if you used to call them these idiots, please can you stop? They are mentally unwell. They have mental health illness. Just like we've always talked about physical health illness. You can't call someone that is physically ill mad or lunatic. You can't do that. So why do you think it is okay for you to call someone that is mentally ill a lunatic? Please. It is mental health illness. It is not a crime. It is an illness, and it has to be treated with care. Sad. Anyways, do you also know that suicide, yes, that is the topic of today. Suicide attempt is still illegal in Nigeria. Do you know that if you attempt to commit suicide and you do not succeed, you have committed a crime? And according to section 327 of the Criminal Code Act and also the section 231 of the Penal Code of Nigeria, both say that anyone, any person who attempts to kill himself is liable. That you attempt to kill yourself and you survive, you are liable to imprisonment for 1 year. That's I'm putting the two, both penal code and criminal code of the suicidal act attempt together. You are liable to be imprisoned if you succeed for at least 1 year, or you pay a fine, and go to prison. Family, I will soon be introducing our experts in this field because I am not. Yes, I am Nurse Angel, but there are experts that have lived and breathed. They have lived years and years, and they have worked with a lot of people suffering from mental health disorder, as well as people with suicidal ideation, or that have attempted, committed, or have died because of suicide. I want to say to you, you will be surprised to hear that before 1961, it was a crime to die by suicide here in the United Kingdom. Yes. That means anyone who attempted, I repeat, anyone who attempted to kill themselves and survive here in UK before 1961 will be prosecuted, may be prosecuted and imprisoned. Worst of all, if you are successful, you successfully kill yourself here in UK and you die by suicide, then your family could be prosecuted. Yes, that was how bad it was. Obviously, the criminalization of suicide reflects a lot in the society. Let's be honest. Criminalization of suicide reflects we as a people in the society. It reflects our religious, political, cultural, societal, family, and moral objections to suicide. Yes, because the laws were not made by aliens. It was made by people like yourself and myself in the society, and that is their mindset of suicidal thoughts or suicidal attempts or suicide attempts. However, I'm smiling now to say that with a lot of research, with a lot of awareness, with a lot of sympathy, and also understanding of the struggles, with a lot of understanding and awareness of the struggles and sufferings of the victims or the survivors of suicide, criminalization of it has now been decriminalized in a lot of countries, not Nigeria. Why was that the case? This is because criminalization of suicide have shown to be counterproductive. Yes, please listen. This is important because I know we all are in the society and we all have our own individual different mindset regarding suicide. However, criminalization of suicide has been counterproductive. Why? Listen, it has not deterred people from killing themselves. No, not at all. That is why people still commit suicide. In those countries that criminalize suicide, people still commit suicide. It is obvious. Obviously, it is obvious that most people, with the criminalization, it does not stop people from committing suicide. What it does is it stops people from seeking help when they are in acute crisis. Because suicide is a crime and it's a crime to stop people from committing it. What does it do? I'm looking at the time now. I'll soon stop talking. What does it do? It stops people from seeking for help when they are in acute crisis and they need help or they have an option to die. They don't go to seek for help because it's a criminal offense. If they go to seek for help, they can be liable. What also is the issue? Sometimes people, because they cannot go and seek for help when they are suicidal, they don't get the support they need to stop to commit suicide. They don't go to seek for help. What happened? They do not get support. They don't get support to stop the act of suicide. Worst of all, it makes victims to use a more severe means to end their lives. Why? Because they believe that if they survive, they will be punished. What do? If they want to commit suicide, they make sure they kill themselves and not survive to be punished. That was why the criminalization of suicide in UK was decriminalized by the UK Parliament. Nigeria has not. With the act of that we have a Suicide Act of 1961, which stipulates that if you attempt suicide and survive, you will no longer be prosecuted. Angel, keep quiet. It's okay. You've talked a lot. We have experts in the house that will be talking. So I will keep quiet. If not, 1 hour we go. I'm still introducing the topic. Oh my God! So right now, let me see what the family members are saying. Then introduce our special speakers. Nigeria, my country. This one is tagging her friends to come. Nigeria has not gotten there yet. And that is why we have renowned speakers to come and see how they can sensitize us a lot to get there. And Tubi said, feels good to be here. I am happy you're here as well. Nangog, okay, she's tagging her friends to come. Thank you for tagging people. Please call them, let them come and watch. Not Angel won't kill me. Oh. Because I said keep quiet. That's great. Mama, this is hotter than hot. I agree. And on that note, tonight's topic is suicide, part 1. We can never stop talking about it. And in the house, remember, you need to help welcome him because he has a lot of wealth to impact on us. So tonight, we have our special speaker. And as we have discussed already on the page, he is just 5 years old younger than NHS UK. Yes, our speaker tonight and NHS are age mates. Yes, that is how knowledgeable and intelligent and super he is. I'll be bringing him up in a minute, but I want to inform you that he is a renowned nurse. Yes. Nurse Lawrence has been looking after patients since 1972. Hey, I was definitely, my parents may not have been married at the time when our special speaker was looking after patients. Yes, we know he has massive wealth of knowledge. And yes, he is 70 years old. And if you see him, he is as fit as a fiddle. You saw his picture online. He's always drumming. He's going to gym. He loves going to gym. He loves going out on holiday. As I called him, I said, Nurse Lawrence, do you want to come and speak to our guests? They are wonderful, beautiful, marvelous guests. You will love them. He said, oh, I'm supposed to be going on holiday. I said, another holiday, Nurse Lawrence. Another holiday. He said, yes. He was supposed to be going on holiday. Anyway, he will soon be going on holiday, but he will come and speak to you. We are in the week of inclusion. We're in the week of inspiring inclusion. Nurse Lawrence is both a British citizen, a Chinese citizen, and a nurse. He's here tonight. Welcome! Let me see what the family members are saying. Oh, I celebrate you, sir. That is Udrak. That's amazing. They are talking a lot about welcome, sir. They are welcoming you to our page.
Thank you.
This one says, Boma said, when I grow up, I want to be like Lost Lawrence. Fred Sunny said, welcome to our, and tonight our special guest. And then Chinaza said, I've seen someone stand on the expressway seeking to be killed by a vehicle on speed. This one has started talking about someone attempting suicide. Okay, so before we continue, I will quickly introduce our next speaker. You all know him. He's now a family member. Yes, and he is no other than Dr. Temitope, our one and only professor in the house. Welcome. I'm so happy. Tonight is the best night because this man, Lawrence, you're seeing is a big boy. He's a big boy. You know, when in Nigeria, we call people like you a big boy. He's a bigger boy. Yes. And he's here, ready and hungry. He's ready and hungry. Yes. So, Dr. Temitope, they are all welcoming you as well. Yes, our people are wonderful. Look at them. They've invited the whole world to listen. So, I will quickly allow you, Lawrence, to introduce yourself or say one or just say thank you for welcoming me. Anything you want to say?
Okay, thank you for a very lively introduction, and I note the passion in your voice. That's fantastic, and it's also great for me to meet Dr. Temitope, and who is really the expert. I just want to clarify that I am not an expert. The people who are expert are the people who are caring for patients with mental health problems, who know the patient better than anyone else. They are the expert. I've just been in the privileged position to be able to share a lot of my life with the people I look after and the family members. So where there's been tragedies, it's a great privilege for me to support the families. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for welcoming me.
He's the expert. He can say what he's saying. He's an expert. He's a big boy. He has worked over 50 years. And listen, no other expert than him. So welcome, sir. Yes, Dr. Temitope, do you have anything you want to say to the family?
Very first thing I'd like to remind us again is that in our mind, always in my mind, and that my destiny is in my hand.
Fantastic.
You know, tonight is going to be very explosive.
Yes.
Tonight is going to be explosive. Tonight is going to be a benefit to enhance your personality. It's going to be a privilege to share from the wealth of experience, the quality of the knowledge of Nurse Lawrence, and I'll be here gladly to learn and to listen carefully. Once again, thanks, Nurse Angel. Thank you to every member of the In Our Mind Talk Show family.
Yes, even a family member on the page has already said that you have 52 years experience. Look at it on the screen, Nurse Lawrence. He said you have 52 years experience. But I will have to say that he's a very humble man, extremely humble upon everything. So Nurse Lawrence and Dr. Temitope, I will quickly dive into today. Family, I will quickly dive into the questions. I'll be reading your comments and seeing your questions. I want to say that before now, We ask the family members, what questions do they have for the audience? And a whole lot of them sent in a lot of questions. So I would like to start with you, Dr. Temitope. Is suicide a taboo? Why is all the law before now against suicide? Why is it that if you survive it, you are imprisoned, you're locked up, you pay, they treat you, even the treatment you get will even make you to want to end it better next time. So my question to you is suicide a taboo? I think he's frozen. Okay. Dr. Temitope.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm back. Yes, I'm going to be responding very, very brief. The question is asking, is suicide a taboo? The answer is yes. Everything negative that cannot add value to your life, it's not acceptable. Anything that devalues you, that debases you, that in any way makes you look inferior, or that predisposes you to harm or danger, it's not acceptable. The word taboo means it's not acceptable. So suicide is the thought, the feeling to self-inflict injury or take your life by your own self. And that is not acceptable. Life does not end at a spot, at a point. You need to reason far beyond where you are. Look far beyond today. You are great. You are noble. And there are better opportunities that await you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
What's a follow-up question, Dr. Temitope? Is when you say yes, is a taboo, we know how we treat things that we classify and categorize as a taboo. If we say this is taboo, one thing for sure, we stigmatize the thing. We stigmatize. You don't want to associate with people that are taboo. Like there are some people, they say they are osu. You don't want to associate with people like that. You don't want to communicate. You want to hide them. You want to treat them badly. Is that then why this society treats suicidal survivors the way they are being treated?
Okay, please permit me to say tonight that this is an opportunity to learn. Please, let's all learn.
Thank you.
Here we have semantic and grammatic related issue. Semantics means the meaning you make from the word. Grammatics, that is the way it is, all right? It can be in terms of the tenses you construct, how correct it is. The correctness of your tenses defines the grammatic accuracy of your expression. While the semantics is the meaning you make out of the tenses you construct. Please, let me say it again. The word suicide means to the thought or to act out, you know, or to attempt to take your personal life, your own life. Now let's look at the word taboo. The word taboo means something that is not acceptable. Yes, something that is evil. But please, let's now reorientate ourselves. Let's create room for knowledge. We are not in any way saying if the thought comes, of course, for medical purposes, there's what we call a theology, which is the study to know the cause of the condition. So if we look at the cause in this context, contextually, we will not absolutely say mentally related problem like suicide is a taboo. All right, let's learn together now. So by inference, we are not castigating you. We're not saying things wrongly about you. We're not against you. We love you. We want you to know you are part of us. So please, let's correct that. When I say it's a taboo, that thought is a thought that is wrong and is not acceptable. But when you look at the cause, it will then tell you that no, you don't need to take your life. Are we together? So we sincerely associate with you, and we have the great desires to make our society a better place. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, because I was a bit worried. I know what you're saying, terminology, but you know, there is difference between terminology grammatically and the common usage of it, which is what infers a lot of reaction or actions to things when it is pronounced. So thank you for that clarity, because we are looking to support, not further stigmatize. Thank you. And I will come to my big boss. Yes, my big boss in the house. And big boss, we have some family members on the page. One of them is called Zitis. I call her Zither. And the other one is called Ilausu. Zitis, or Mary, if you want to call her by Mary, and Ilausu are asking, what is suicide? I know Professor have already answered that. They want to know what are the common signs and symptoms of suicide. Professor Lauren and Dr. Lauren.
I thank you for promoting me. Thank you very much, Angel. I think you are right. Professor has covered a lot of the bases. When you're talking about signs and symptoms, for me as a nurse, when I look after people, let's look at what are the causes of some of these. And mental illness plays a large part in my working life, of working with people who are depressed. And certainly depression is a large part of it. People with maybe anxiety disorder, where the anxiety is so severe that they find it very difficult to cope. Now, patients with borderline personality disorder, a high percentage of people who kill them, eating disorders, psychotic disorders, and people who are indulging with drugs, that can also play a part of that. So each person is different. Working with people, getting to know the person is probably the most important thing. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a very interactive session, and I see there's a lot of comments there, and I hope to share some stories as we go along. So when you're saying what are the signs and symptoms, so when you look at someone who's depressed, you will know that someone who's not eating, who's not drinking, who can't sleep, those are the signs of depression. And very important, when you're caring for a family member who's showing those signs, it is important to give them time to ask them questions.
Yeah.
How do you feel? I'm in a position where I'm so privileged that I feel that I don't make a judgment. I don't ask people to pull the socks up. I listen to them, and I say to people, what brought you to this state of mind? What is causing this? And giving people time to talk about what's going on in their internal life is so important, that if they are able to disclose what's going on up inside their head, it's a large part towards hopefully stopping people from taking the next step, which could be a tragedy to many family members.
Thank you very much. Listen, you are so fast. Wow, 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 wow. But at least you are so clear. So thank you, Nurse Lawrence. Nurse Lawrence, you've answered. So I saw what the comments, because as you're talking and looking at the comments, thank you. And I want to come back to you again, Professor. Professor, Nurse Lawrence has given a lot of examples from mentally ill patients. He talked about bipolar. He talked about some psychotic symptoms. I know what he's talking about, because sometimes you hear voices that will give you a command to say, kill yourself. So he mentioned a lot of signs and symptoms that come from mentally ill patients. He also talked about drug use and others, which can be neither here or there. It could be mental illness or due to your behavior. Yeah. So, and he talked about deprivation, meaning people that have loss in their life. But I want to ask you a question, because we can't talk about, most times when you talk about suicide and you're actively suicidal, they take you to a mental health hospital. Dr. Temitope, is suicide a mental health illness?
Thank you very much. Please, let's all appreciate the fact that in our mind, always in my mind.
You're there.
Yes. And our destinies are in our hands.
Powerful
What?
state.
Yes. Please understand, we are thinking about you all the time. The suggestion for this topic tells of the much we think about you and how best to help you understand the environment in which you are and to live above immediate present predicaments and possibly eliminate all sense of negative thoughts, negative tendencies that will endanger your life. Nurse Angel thinks about you. Nurse Lawrence thinks about you. And I also think about you. So your thought is always in our mind. Is the issue of today suicide? Is it a mental illness? The answer is absolutely yes. It is a mental illness. But please, let's appreciate what knowledge does. Knowledge enlightens you. Knowledge upholds you. Knowledge gives you the chance to make or take informed decisions. Now, if I say yes, it's for me to explain. What that simply implies is, if you look at you as an individual, and like Nurse Angel rightly did say, how on earth will you say that if you have a physical challenge, physical problem, nobody will refer to you as being psychotic or narcotic, having a derailment, having a form of mental problem? So what Nurse Angel is saying is that if, for instance, you have, commonly in Africa, we have malaria, right? You can even have what you call extravasation, a cut on the skin. Apart from that, you can have other, challenges affecting the tissues or cells of the body. That does not mean you are mentally deficient. But in this context, suicide, all right? Yes, very natural. It will not be too correct to conclude that it's all about mental related deficiency. But please understand, in the instance where your brain, all right, is beginning to have certain level of deficiency, for instance now, naturally, there are hormones in the body, all right? And there are major organs of the body that produces these hormones, okay? Now, these organs are located at different parts of the body. So we're not going to be going into some of those medical jargons, okay? I call them jargons because they are medically oriented words, okay? But more importantly, take for instance, in the instance where the brain is supposed to function normal, if certain hormones are there, okay? And when the brain is also deficient of such hormones, or the brain is not able to utilize the hormones effectively, all right? Please understand, when we talk about the brain, all right, that is the major portion of the body that is responsible for mental activities, mental reasoning. So in this instance, we now talk about illness as a form of inability of the brain to perform its function, where certain hormones are deficient, like serotonin. Do we understand? So I'm not going to carry us along the biochemistry of it, or the physiology of it, or even related to the anatomy and how it degenerates into pathology and how pharmacology comes in. But the important thing is that mental illness, mental problem, mental deficiency, when the brain is not functioning as at its capacity as a result of certain deficiency. So suicide, please understand, can come in when the body is not performing, the brain is not performing the required function. So that's why sometimes we then believe it's a mental illness. So I'm going to stop here because I know it will trigger more questions. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, yes. I'm happy you said it. It's going to trigger another question. So the other question, which I will turn to Nurse Lawrence, if suicide, he said yes, due to the fact that a lot of mental ill patients also exhibit suicidal ideation. So I get what he is talking about. However, Nurse Lawrence, we have a lot of people not diagnosed, maybe because they didn't go to hospital, or probably they planned their death. These people plan. They are not ill. They are not in the hospital. They just decide, okay, I have a physical health pain, a severe pain. I've been taking a lot of medication for this pain. It is not stopping. Or some people can say, rather than you cut off my leg, and I have 1.5 leg. We've seen a lot of people with 1.5 leg, you know what I mean? And they are moving, happy, going about. Some people say, that is not me. If it gets to that, I want to kill myself. I want to stop living. So the question to you now, Nurse Lawrence, is those people that plan their death, will you also say that they are mentally ill? Nurse Lawrence, I know you say, don't ask me. Oh.
Thank you, Professor. There was a lot of knowledge there, but it is too intellectual for me. I just want to bring it down to the human side of things because I'm a practical nurse. Yeah. So,
Nurse Lawrence, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I've always told Professor, bring it down.
He's too intelligent for me. He's too intelligent for my life. Yes.
I have grown his ears. Go on.
Yeah. I want to come back to your question. Now, I don't know whether there's been a campaign that's going on. There's a very famous celebrity in the UK that is putting a campaign out for people who are suffering from terminal illness that choose to end their life. Now, these people have got full capacity. I don't think they are suffering from a mental illness, but they are in pain. They are in severe pain. Now, someone very close to me, someone who's very strong, who's very close to me, killed himself. Killed himself in a country that just decriminalized suicide in 2023. Now,
sorry, which country is that? Which country is that?
That's Malaysia. Yep, it's decriminalized in 2023. Now, because I don't feel that suicide is a taboo, because I'm quite happy to discuss with my family. If my son, daughter, wife wants to talk about suicide, I'm happy to discuss it. So in my household, it's not a taboo, but I appreciate for a lot of families in the country, for whatever reason, it is a taboo in those areas. Maybe it's religious grounds, maybe, culturally. To come back to your question, there are a lot of people suffering from physical pain. They are not mentally ill. Yeah? Does that answer your question?
Yes, it answers my question, but politically.
I try to take politics out of these because it's about caring for people who are desperate. They must be desperate. They're so desperate. And one of the signs and symptoms that we look out for is hope. when someone loses hope and when they're in such a lot of pain that they lose sight of things, they lose hope, they lose the motivation to live. That's where you and I, Angel, we come in. Hopefully, by giving them the time, giving time to explore what we can do, hopefully we will bring some hope and instill some hope in them long enough to hold on for other miracles to work its way in that person. But I also appreciate if someone who is so terminally ill and in such pain where painkillers cannot control those pain, who am I to judge their decision? Yeah?
You.
Thank you.
You answered the question. So, Dr. Temitope, I'm so happy that Nurse Lawrence touched on both the taboo part. I was so happy he touched on it, as well as the mental health part. Why I'm happy is we all know religion, culture, society, tradition, family, and politics. A whole lot of things shaping our mindset, and we respect. One thing I do is I respect, like Nurse Lawrence, he's my boss. We respect the opinions and belief of people whilst sharing a different alternative mind view as well. So yes, and if you come to countries, I'm talking to families now, if you come to countries where they perceive, but I'm happy our professor, who is so knowledgeable, explained what he meant, because he defined taboo the way taboo should be defined. But I said to him, there are common layman's terms, which when you say taboo, wow, bah, yeah. Before you know it, they run away, they segregate, they push it. You see, the treatment now becomes the way we see it as it is in the country. Yet, we don't understand their struggles, their sufferings, their pain. You said, who are you, Nurse Lawrence, to talk to them about their pain? So the question you answered, I think it was a follow-up on that of Dr. Temitope. Now, I want to ask, I don't know who to ask this question. I'll throw it out. Then if no one answers it, I'll pick the person. So a family member or two family members on the page. One is Abidemi, and the other is Faith. Abidemi and Faith are asking, they say, if you see someone, I think Nurse Lawrence, you are in the field, I may throw this question to you. So both of them are asking, if you see someone or you saw someone about to commit suicide, how can you stop them? How can, we have a whole lot of policies, rules, regulations. So how can you stop them?
Okay, bearing in mind that I work in a hospital setting, so it is going to be a lot different. But do you remember in the UK there was a campaign in the past, and I think there's also a campaign that says small talk saves lives. In other words, if you see someone standing by the railway station, because in this country, the British Rail loses about 240 odd people kill themselves over that, and it is very traumatic for the family. It's very traumatic for the workers, the train driver, etc. When someone jump in front of the train, so they have a campaign with the Samaritans. That's about small talk. So if you see someone whom you think may be about to jump, it's about going to them and say something to them, even just a simple word like hello, where's the toilet? Do you know where the toilet is? Do you know where I can go? It's just stopping the person in that track. Yeah. So what we do in a hospital setting when someone comes in, let me give a story of someone I looked after years ago. She was put on a section. Now, some people come into the hospital, they are detained under the Mental Health Act, and someone coming to the hospital under Section 2 is detained for 28 days. And this lady said to me, I'm in hospital now, but when I leave in 28 days' time, I will kill myself. So I said, fine, let's work together. I got 28 days to help you. And I spent 5 days a week giving her an hour a day, talking, going back to her life, going back to the childhood, giving her time to talk about her life, explore what's going on, moving from childhood into the current situation. And by the end of the 20th day, she suddenly said to me, I now realize the problem is not me. The problem is the partner that's causing me this problem. And from that, we can then explore ways to recover. Now that you gain this valuable insight, what are you going to do about your life? So she and her daughter, they make plans what they're going to do when she leaves hospital. So in that time, we help someone who was hell-bent on killing themselves, but by the 20th day, they are able to say, I'm not going to do it. And as far as I know, she's still alive today. So when you stop someone in the track, and this is why in certain places they have a priest walking up and down the bridge, yeah, in the UK, and I think in some like St. Francis Bridge, etc., they have telephones where it's there. If someone is feeling suicidal, they could pick up the phone and they make a call, hoping that someone will pick up and talk them out of that. By buying that time, something else might come in. So if you're giving people the help at the right time, this could prevent a suicide. And if we are all doing our part, so if you're in the family and you're seeing someone who's depressed, you're seeing someone who's very withdrawn, and you're able to ask them how they feel. Ask them, is it so bad that you may think about ending your life? By allowing, people to explore that, you are really helping them. You are helping them focus. You're helping them think. You're helping them problem solve. Yeah. Imagine what is it like to be living with the thoughts of you wanting to kill yourself. It must be so frightening to that person. So when someone gives them the time to talk about it, it helps them. It helps everybody. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Nurse Lawrence, a lot of people are so happy with your English. They say they can hear you so clearly. They are so excited. Thank you very much, Nurse Lawrence. Yes. I'll come to you, Dr. Temitope. Dr. Temitope, this is a follow-up on Nurse Lawrence because he said something about talk to them. Nurse and Dr. Temitope. Now we call it nurse and doctor. So, Dr. Temitope, since the inception of this talk show, even with you being our constant resource person, we always talk about speak out. Speak out. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. An actively suicidal person may not want to speak out. They may not want to speak out or say something. I was so happy, as Nurse Lawrence said, in his household is an open conversation. And I want to use myself as well as a typical example. Statistics says that mostly 15-year-old to 20-something 25-year-old are the most highly risk patient and people to commit suicide, and also male. My son, I know I've spoken to him. He was the one calling me. My first son at that age range, because of certain things he was going through in school, which I've shared here, he wrote a letter, a note, and kept it where I can see it, that he is tired. Then he had issue in his school, that he's tired, he feels like committing suicide. Then I saw it. I was not a nurse. I was not a nurse. But when I saw it, oh my God, as if I became a superhero. I'm a mother. My son wrote a letter after I've nurtured him, trained him, carried him. I want him that he wants to end his life. I became like a Captain America. I said to him, I called him and I asked him, do you have a plan? I was not a nurse. I was speaking to him. Why do you want to commit suicide? Is there something bothering you? How can I help you? What do you? I went into conversation with me. He was crying. I was crying. He was crying. I was crying. We were all crying. Both of us. The daddy didn't know. I think I shared it afterwards. But I left what I was about to go to work. I stopped and I was like, why? He told me why. His school, his principal, his this, his that. I said, okay, how bad is it? You know, we went into it and I now went with him and I sorted it out for him. And in the end, he became like a superhero. Why am I saying this? Because if I thought it was bad, I would just close his mouth. If I thought talking about suicide is a taboo and a bad thing, I'll close his mouth. I will shush him up and I will hide and make sure people don't talk about it or hear it, and I won't really help him. I want to say to you, Dr. Temitope, in Nigeria, I've been reading a lot of comments on the platform. In Nigeria, they are asking, when will we get there? No, you know, sometimes, Dr. Temitope, people think when they say, are you suicidal? Or are you thinking of killing yourself? To someone that is very like, I'm done, I'm tired, that you're making them want to. And that is why people don't discuss it. And why are we surprised that a high number of people are committing suicide upon the fact that it's a crime in Nigeria, yet it's increasing by the day? Dr. Temitope, what do you have to say to people that may not even voice it out? Like my son did not tell me. He had to write it down in a letter. Because sometimes it's a way of crying out for help. What do you have to say to Nigerians as a Nigerian regarding suicide? Anything you want to say?
Thank you very much, Nurse Angel. In our mind, always in my mind, my destiny is in my head. Thank you very much, Nurse Lawrence. Honestly, I actually came, and I'm glad tonight that I'm part of your students learning under you. 52 years of experience.
Not a joke.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. To all our audience, let me please place this on record. Our audience are not only Nigerians, they are Africans from the north of Africa, the south of Africa, the east of Africa, the west of Africa, the north, the central Africa, and in Asia, I'm sure, convinced, because we are connected via the internet. And I'm sure Americans too are listening, and those in Europe. We hope someday we'll have a forum where we all have to listen to everyone. Please, let's understand, the human society is complex. I'm also a social worker. And for those of us in social work, we provide social interventions. I actually came in tonight to look at certain theories, psychological theories, biological theories, psychosocial theories. Yes, it's obvious. It's obvious that when we talk about suicide, there are many precipitating factors. If we take each of these theories from the psychological perspective, all right, aggression. So there's a level to which you are unnecessarily becoming unbearable for someone, it creates an impulsive aggression. And such a person could be at the verge of such thought of suicide. There's what we call the cognitive self model, schema model. Here too, you have these negative beliefs about life. What life truly is not. You just develop certain negativity that can also induce the thought of suicide. Yes, when we come into the biological system, of course, our concern is what are certain genetically induced or hormonal induced causes of this. So we tend to classify, and then we think about some of these hormonal deficiencies are causing mental related illnesses. When we come to look at psychosocial issues, yes, pain, even the pressure, either from external environment, can induce the thought of suicide. There's what you call the level of hormonal agitation, all right, can also induce the thought of suicide. Now, let me quickly help us tonight. For everyone that's listening, suicide, I sincerely subscribe to the thought of Nurse Lawrence. It is not a taboo. Please, beyond the literal meaning or transliteration of the word taboo from the African context, it is not difficult to express to anybody that you are hungry, that you are fatigued, that you are stressed. The way you will say it, feel joyfully and gladly to tell us issues that bothers your mind, that is threatening you, that is making you think wrongly about life. So please, let's discuss it. The way we will discuss the issue of marriage, the issue of food, the way we will discuss every social issue, let us discuss the issue of suicide. Suicide is not an option. And I'm glad for the fact that after 28 days, this particular patient could reason beyond suicide and working out a solution, like what Ellis will say, we call it rational emotive therapy. You see, you can reason and find out specifics. What is the problem? And let me tell everybody listening tonight, there is no problem that is sufficient to take your life. There is no problem that does not have a solution. The way, if someone is hungry, food can take the hunger away. If you are thirsty, water can take thirst away. That thought can be cared for. Please discuss all your issues. Feel free. Call Nurse Angel, send text to Nurse Angel. She will call Nurse Lawrence. They will call Dr. Peter Adeyonju. We will come around. And I'm glad that Dr. Miriam, she's listening tonight, and Dr. Optu, she's listening tonight. We are all available. Please understand, now you have a better friends, bigger friends that can all help you. Do not keep silence. Silence is dangerous. Express your mind anyhow you want to express it. Let us have a thought, a feel of it. We are available, we'll guide you through. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Respect.
Thank you. That is wisdom, Dr. Temitope. And if anything, my hope is that two things, if everybody tuning in could pick up. One is to speak out. Don't hold back if that's the way you feel. The other side of the coin is for the people that are caring for people that you think may be feeling suicidal is, hey, what's bothering you? Let's talk. It's good to talk. And in my mind, that this
In our mind, it's always in my mind.
it's always in my mind. the two most important message today is speak out and listen. Listen and help the people who may be going through such horrific times, yeah, going through such dark corners in their mind. Just help them to explore, help them to speak out. And by speaking out, who knows? Who knows? You are saving lives. And the World Health Organization has said that over 700,000 people kill themselves every year. You could be saving a lot of these people. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I'm so happy the way you did it proactively. Adding up. Thank you, sir. Respect. Sir, there is another member of the platform. Her name is Sylvia. Sylvia is asking, can the symptoms of suicide be found in children? If yes, how do we handle it on time?
That's children's not my specialty. However, I'm sure the professor will have a lot of knowledge about that, but I don't see children being any different from an adult. Children do suffer from depression. Children go to school, like you said earlier on, they could be bullied at school. Look at COVID. COVID have isolated a lot of people. Loneliness is a big, big problem. And when you know that there are young children who are lonely, help them explore, talk to them, listen to them. Yeah. So, children grown up, everybody can also have mental health problems. More so in children, because as they're growing up, they may not have learned the skill of problem solving. Now, in adult, one of the interventions we do is to help bring back problem solving skills to people, because when you're so stressed out, you lose the capacity to think properly. So when we work with patients, we try and problem solve with them. They decide how they're going to solve the problem, but we facilitate them. We let them explore. We let them choose what they want to do. So we are helping them to problem solve. Now, children may not have learned that skill. So it is very important that we listen to them, we look for the signs and symptoms, and we encourage them to discuss things. Hopefully I'm right, Dr. Temitope.
Absolutely. I think he may not even have much to add, because you said he's not your specialty and you still answered it. And again, Sylvia, I think my example of my son when he was 15 or younger is just a typical example to say absolutely yes. And Dr. Temitope, do you have anything, since Nurse Lawrence have thrown it back to you? Do you have anything to add?
Honestly, I do.
Okay.
In our mind, always in my mind. Please, we think about you. Please, let me share this. Honestly, I came prepared to take theoretical part of this suicide. Now, let me carry us through a little of, I'm a classroom teacher. And, from the classroom perspective, now there are certain theorists. One of them is Jane Piaget. Another one is Erikson. Another one is Vygotsky. And another one is Emil Durkheim. Each of them have spoken qualitatively, apart from Sigmund Freud and others. But tonight, I want you to learn from Piaget, Jane Piaget. Jane Piaget wants you to know that children start learning from ages 0, 1, not until they are 15. Now, if you bring it back to look at what Vygotsky did, the issue of trust and mistrust. If you have a child of 2 years and you ask the child to climb on a particular object and jump, and you promise to hold the child, if you fail, that child will grow never to trust you in life at ages 2. Now, what Piaget did, what Vygotsky did, what Erskine did, was to pick it from ages 0 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 11 as a learning stage in life. And in designing the quality of what we use to teach them, instructional materials, we lay emphasis on this age of learning. Of course, there are 3 domains of learning: the cognitive domain, the affective domain, and the psychomotor domain. So please understand, children can exhibit tendencies of suicide. I'll give you a good example. If you have a child, if you come to look at what Tim Laye said, there are different personalities. If a child is naturally very lively and suddenly the child is becoming reserved, please pay attention. If a child is isolating himself or herself, please pay attention. If a child is beginning to become easily attractive to sharp objects and self-inflicting injury on him or herself, pay attention. But if you come to look at what Emil Durkheim said, Emil Durkheim, to the contrary, wants you to all learn tonight. Please understand, it's also a classroom. Permit me to say Nurse Angel, yes, and Nurse Lawrence. What Emil Durkheim is saying is that if you look at the issue of suicide,
network. This is Laura.
and the fatalistic. Please, what he is saying, Emil Durkheim is saying, is that there are certain times, either children or teenagers or adults, naturally, when they no longer enjoy the love from the members of the society, all right, it can induce what you call egoistic suicidal thoughts. And the opposite of it is what you have in the altruistic. When they become too familiar, become too integrated to the society, there are specific examples. It can induce also suicidal thoughts. Then the anomic and the fatalistic are also opposites, words and opposites. Now, when you have low regulation within the society that cannot checkmate people's excesses, it can induce anomic suicidal thoughts. And then when you have too many laws in a society, and that also can induce a suicidal thought. Please permit me to stop there.
Hey! Nurse Lawrence, you see what we are seeing? What do you have to say? Anyway, I want to say that a lot of people are talking. They are asking questions, and I just looked at the time. Nurse Lawrence, I know I said to you, it's maximum of 1 hour. I can't believe the time. And they have a million questions to ask. But there is someone that made a comment, which I love. She said, we really need to visit this topic next week. She knows we'll soon be closing. And I agree. Because we have not even started yet. This topic is a topic that can have, we talk till next year. In fact, when we're still introducing, someone talked about someone that puts themselves in front of a moving vehicle. And Nurse Lawrence, you also gave an example of someone that wanted to jump into the train in terms of where people always kill themselves. We've not even talked about the easy things people use to kill themselves. The people are asking, prevention. I am so sorry, family. I know you will kill me, but we need to end. We need to end because we will come again next week. They say none of my questions. They said none of my questions were answered. I said it. I just wasn't sure. The topic needs to be revisited. I want to apologize to the house. I know you guys love me enough to forgive me. Nurse Lawrence has heard your plea. Nurse Lawrence, I want to appeal. Let's come back again next Sunday.
I can't come next Sunday because I'm on holiday for 2 weeks. Now, this is a fine example. I'm using myself as like an example. Okay, I work hard, but I also need a work-life balance. So my wife and I, hopefully, are going to get some sun where I'm going to chill out and recharge my battery so that I can come back to give my best when I'm looking after the patient. But I really love the way this subject has gripped so many people. The fact that there are so many questions, it is great. Now, whether the country has decriminalized suicide or not, that is not the issue. The issue is if we ourselves can learn to talk openly about suicide, about our thoughts, about the thoughts of self-harm, about wanting to kill ourselves, if we can bring this out openly, whether the country criminalize it, decriminalize it, it doesn't matter. We are helping one another, and you are helping everybody in the world to look after themselves and saving lives. Thank you very much.
Nurse Lawrence, before I ask you the last question, can you show us your In Our Mind logo? Can you put your camera down a bit? Yeah. Now you're talking. Yes. Let's see what the family members are saying. They're saying yes. They're giving you thumbs up. They're saying good. Yes. Okay. So, Nurse Lawrence, I know work and life balance is key. There's something you said I want you to touch on, then we close. We'll still continue. Whenever you come back from holiday, you will join us. This topic cannot end like that. Nurse Lawrence, you talked about open conversation. That is one thing. Whenever you cover something, it breathes. If you cover anything, you cover. Even the lab people, when they want to culture and grow things, they cover it. Yes, they put some chemicals, but they cover it. They don't leave it open. When you cover food, it rottens. What is that? It's breathing. And it start getting all the maggots, all the smells. Yeah, whatever you cover breathes, continues, and get worse. When you open it to light, it can either grow, or it is solved. Light shines into it. You've talked about open conversation repeatedly. And yes, let's be honest again, the patient or the people thinking of suicide may hide. They may not want to talk. But it's now left on us, as he said, to openly talk about it. And in our mental health hospitals, the first thing or part of the questions we ask patients, whether they say they are suicidal or not, we ask. In fact, if you don't ask, your examination could be looked as not very complete in case the person commits suicide later. So part of the questions we ask people that attend it after a whole lot of things, which we are not going to go into, is, are you thinking of committing? We don't just ask like that. We start little by little. How is your thoughts? How is your sleep? How is your this and that? Then we'll ask them, have you ever thought of committing suicide? We are opening the conversation in case they are thinking, to know how to help them to stop. The discussion, the conversation is solution. They say something shared is half solved. It's not fully solved, but at least there is an opening for something to be done rather than covered. Nurse Lawrence, do you want to tell the family? Because a lot of people say, don't say it. It's not good to be said. Hide it. What do you want to say? I want you to stress it, because sometimes you need to hit and hit and hit for it to penetrate. What do you have to say to people regarding having an open conversation on it?
Yeah. I think if you go to the Samaritans website, they have myths about suicide. One of the myths is about if you ask someone if they're going to, commit suicide, you're going to actually make the person do it. But I've been asking patients for a good 30 years. And surely you don't go around and say straight away, as a nurse, you and I, Angel, we build relationship, and this is in relationship that is so important. And you build a rapport with people, and you build trust. And when the time is right, and you and I learn to observe people, and a lot of people out there will hopefully pick up some of the things we are talking about. So when you see a youngster at home suddenly become very withdrawn, we learn to speak to them because you're so close to them, and you can gradually build these questions up by asking what's going on, what's happened to you. That's such an important question. And when people open up to you, and if they're able to say that they're feeling suicidal, I notice some of the questions in the comments is about, can we stop suicidal thoughts? I'm not sure we can stop suicidal thoughts. I think it comes, like the professor said, that when some of these are physiological, some are cognitive, some are, biological, whatever it is. But when a lot of people are under a lot of stress, sometimes, and I'm sure a lot of the people in the audience must have gone through this occasionally by saying, sometimes I wish I'm dead. But I don't think you're suicidal. You just say it because you are so stressed out. You think, I'm better off dead. But you don't want to kill yourself. You just say it. Now, if we learn to focus on what we can see and open up those questions, eventually the opportunity might come to say, are things so bad that you are thinking of killing yourself? Now, by asking that question, you let the person think and answer that question, and then you can do something about it. Yeah? It must be so difficult to hold everything in, having all these thoughts in your head all the time when you're thinking, shall I kill myself? This is how I'm going to kill myself. By allowing that to happen, you actually brings a lot of relief to the person. Yeah?
Fantastic. 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 Sorry, I'm just sending quick one. So thank you very much. And thank you for honoring the family today. I think right now we are adopting you, Nurse Lawrence. We are adopting you to be a member, a full-fledged member of IOM family. There is something Dr. Temitope has repeatedly said. Do you want to say that, Nurse Lauren, about in our mind is?
Well, in my mind,
Yeah, say it fully yourself. In our mind,
it is good to talk.
in our mind is always in my mind.
And you are in my mind, and we are in your mind. Thank you very much.
Yes. So before we go, Doctor, we will be coming back again next week to treat this topic. We have to close because we should stay for 1 hour. It's now almost 1.5 hours. Nurse Lawrence and Dr. Temitope, I want to thank you specially. You guys have really touched a lot of souls. Before we go, please, we have not finished talking on the topic. A lot of you are complaining that we've not asked your question. Sorry, it's just the time limit. But I want you to know that if you have any serious concern, please, wherever you are, call your emergency service. Please, we don't want to leave you without empowering you with this. Don't keep it up. Shut it down. Just call the emergency service or visit your doctor or visit your specialist if you have one, or talk to your friend, talk to family. A lot of people say, oh, family and friends, sometimes they mock them. Okay, do you have a trusted person? You can call us. Call your admin. Call Dr. Temitope. Call Abel. Call all your admin team. Send a message and keep talking to us on the platform. Call somebody. If you think you or someone you know is severely or actively suicidal. Please, please, please don't say the talk show ended, therefore my question was not answered and I feel I didn't get help. Please, we'll come back again. Call an emergency service, go to your local doctor, call your therapist, go to your family members, go to a friend, or speak to Nurse Angel. So, as we are going, Nurse Lawrence and Dr. Temitope, I know part of the therapy, the family love, is dancing. Nurse Lawrence, you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Give the family the therapy. Just stand up and shake your body. We have to dance. You did not.
I've already showed you. I've showed you the logo.
Nurse Lawrence is laughing louder than me. They say I'm always laughing, and it makes them laugh and get relief. You're even laughing backwards. Nurse Lawrence, let's give them a little therapy. Part of what we want to give to them is coping skill. Show them how to just dance a bit to cope. Let's see what the family members. Family, tell him to dance. He will dance. Let's see. We love to see you dance, sir. That's what we call
music.
Family, tell him to dance. They say, yes, sir. Yes, they say, I appreciate this topic. We want to see you dancing. Please, please, just for the family. Yes. Push it. Yes. All right, it's dancing time. No, Lawrence, we've not started playing the music. The music is not yet on your dancing. So let's dance. Okay.
It's a cause on the beats loaded. Somebody in the building.
Wow, Lawrence, you're winning. What is happening to Dr. Temitope? Dr. Temitope, don't disgrace also. You're an African. Nurse Lawrence is winning you. So I'm going to start the song again. Nurse, please stand up. I stood up so we can dance. Nurse Lawrence, stand up, please.
It's a cause on the beats loaded. Somebody in the building. Akachuka muna buratuku magayana nabasa brewa bamato chifuna neme manuku na bida unawakenege na fiati elaka no nene ona magasi kwaisia neme bido na nyamu kusinikeri neo ona nyingi sikaya kabeza goni shasi muko chaka dansa ya okolego yenu ifani wajaba kwa anachukua kikaya mifesodia enu wabuku wachuku warode buku imana kana bala kuku pasoro kafasi awa asuna kafasi lipombo chukua kike buleku Bala ni peke la jami chulacho Kafana kwaja kuwebo Keno lwatu nango kweku kai Mbwino neku Anya buku sinikeri leo Anya nyekisi kaya Pakeza kanu nishasi kukwa chaka Asa yuya leo Okonya kemenu Ifani wajaba kumakaye Obi na somo
Wow. Wow. Hey, this is the best. I'll read a couple of comments and we go.
The best dancer is Nurse Lawrence.
Yes! Not Nurse Lawrence, you started extremely well. Why did you stop? You were dancing more than me. I saw your hands. I was like, oh my God, let me do my own. And you just stopped. Why? Thank you, Nurse Lawrence. Thank you. I am honored. Thank you, Dr. Temitope. You are always giving it to us. And I want to read what the family members are saying. Oh my God, they've said a lot. Suicide is not an option. This one, oh my God, I don't know where to start. Wow, I don't know. Nurse Lawrence, they're praising you, Nurse Lawrence. He says, still in the mood. Chijoke said, Nurse Lawrence is the best dancer. Wow. Fabumi said the best dancer is Angel. Yes. Nurse Lawrence, this one said, yes, Nurse Lawrence has won. How can you guys say that? This is cheating. How Nurse Lawrence will be like what you are. What are you guys dancing? He said, well done, Nurse Lawrence. This one said, no be best dancer. Let me read. Nurse Lawrence, you really danced. You did. This Ngozi say yes, so Nurse Lawrence is the best. I can't believe it. You guys are disgracing me. What about me? Oluwakemi say you are too much, Nurse Lawrence. Wow. Fresoni say thank you, Nurse Lawrence. Wow. Irene say Nurse Lawrence, thank you so much. Wow. Wow. Interesting moment with Nurse Angel. Thank you. Christobel said, thank you, Nurse Lawrence and Dr. Temitope. Wow. Nurse Lawrence, I'll be joining you for vacation. All right, so we have to go. Thank you very much for your time. Once again, thank you. Family, thank you for tuning in. We still have about 933 people viewing. Thank you for your sharing the program. And Nurse Lawrence, we wish you a good holiday. You told me you're going to have a holiday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we want to re-invite you whenever you come back, please. Thank you. I know we have saved a lot of people. We have empowered a lot of people, and we will continue to do so. Thank you. And Dr. Temitope, thank you. Do you want to close the, what is your final word with all these sweet comments? Nurse Lawrence, let's start with you. Your final word to the family.
In our mind, it's good to talk.
Let's see what they say. Fantastic. Thank you. And then what about you, Dr. Temitope?
Yes, in our mind, always in my mind.
Yes.
My destiny is in my hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please, tonight, sleep well, eat well, rest well, believe in yourself, and find out that you are the major and the most important solution to the problems of your life. Speak out, don't keep quiet. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye now. Bye.